Check. Ooh, what's that smell? Ooh, baby, how you doing? And now, Mike's thoughts. The Super Bowl is rigged. The Super Bowl is scripted. Nobody wants to watch a rigged or a scripted Super Bowl. Many people in my chat, in my comments below, said, I'm not going to watch this year's Super Bowl. It's rigged, it's scripted, and I don't want to see a three-peat. I don't want to see Saquon Barkley. I don't want to see Jalen Hurts. I don't want to see any of that. I wanted to see the old Commanders. I wanted to see the Lions. I wanted to see the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. I didn't want to see this rigged Super Bowl. So, guys, one person not watching the Super Bowl is not going to make or break the Super Bowl. It's not going to hurt the NFL. A handful of fan bases not watching the Super Bowl is not going to hurt the NFL. Last season alone, they had arguably the largest viewership ever. 110 plus million people tuned in to the Super Bowl. 110 million. So guys, you can say it's rigged. You can say it's scripted. You can say you're going to boycott it. You can say you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You're going to do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, the NFL is the best sports in America. At the end of the day, the NFL trumps NBA, Major League Baseball, NBA Finals, hockey, Major League Baseball, or Major League Soccer, WNBA. You can probably combine all those, and the NFL is still going to trump them. Guys, the NFL is a powerful brand. It's a powerful tool. You can do what you want. You can try to boycott. You can try to do this. You can try to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tune in. Man Hour Nations is going to tune in. And people are going to sit there and enjoy the Bud Light commercials. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah. From the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour.
What?
Sport Talk.
What?
Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeye here. Babyface Buckeye, they like to call me nowadays. But guys, I had a little incident with the razor. I was trimming the old beard. I didn't like the way it looked, so I trimmed a little shorter. Then I looked like an Amish man. I'm like, just let it go. Just let it go. I didn't lose a shave bet. Kevin lost a shave bet, and guess what? He still didn't shave the beard. So whatever, it is what it is. So guys, I just be blatantly honest. If you're going to make a bet with Man Hour, with my man, but with me, do not do it. Do not do it. People don't shave. People don't do their push-ups. People don't do this. Just stop it. If you're going to try to talk all that stuff and put money on where your mouth is, just don't do it with like me. We're done. We're over with. So guys, what is today? Today's Thursday, January 30th, 9:10 p.m. here on the East Coast time. Guys, we've got a great show for you tonight. Today we're going to go scrambling across the old NFL landscape. We're going to go into hour number 2. We're going to talk about, did you see that? Did you see the old news happen around the NFL landscape? Bill Belichick wants to rename the Lombardi Trophy. Steve Wilkes got a job. Patrick Graham is back in Las Vegas. And oh, by the way, we're going to talk about Dak Prescott. So we're going to talk about Dak Prescott and, of course, Travis Kelce and Factor Crap. And then we got to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. And we got to talk a little bit about Buffalo Bills and some other landscapes happening across the NFL landscape. Before we get too carried away, guys, we got to welcome the people in the chat. We got to welcome the people in the chat because this is a live interactive show. So, guys, if you are here, let us know you're here. Like the live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel or Facebook channel, and share this live stream of the show because sharing is caring at the end of the day. We got the man, the myth, the legend in the chat today. Got Old Man River. John Peoples in the chat says, what up, y'all? What up, what up, what up? What's up, John? Hope you're having a good day, brother. Got my man, Alpha Rob, resident Buffalo Bills fan, says, what up, Buck? What's up, Alpha Rob? Hope you're having a good day, bud. Hope you're having a good day. And Jim says, old Super Bowl, that would be 54, is getting further and further away. Yeah, I made a typo on the thumbnail. I pushed the V inside the X. That was totally me. My bad, but Jim, way to point it out, way to point it out. And John says, be a pigskin punny, guys, get you some. So, guys, we have a little mafia, not the Bills Mafia. We have the Pigskin Pundit Mafia here, part of Man Hour Nation. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Pigskin Pundits, get behind-the-scenes footage, you get the after-hours footage, you get a free merch, you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You can be like John, Jim, Casey, Laura, Ether John, Hoffy. Guys, click on the subscribe button below, and as little as $4.99 a month, you get to become a Pigskin Pundit. So be like them, be like them, be like them. Speaking of Pigskin Pundit, Casey's in the house as well today. I don't like that. Get that song out of there. Casey says, Chiefs Kingdom, let's go! 3-peat pending. Guys, I didn't know this, but somebody for the Miami Heat, can't think of his name right now, he has 3-peat trademarked. So when not the Buffalo Bills, when the Chicago Bulls won a 3-peat and they used it on their T-shirts, when the Yankees did it, he's made millions upon millions of dollars above that trademark. So apparently we cannot use 3-peat. John says, I smell a brain fart brewing. It's already there. Jim says, babyface brewski. Listen, man, I feel like a young man, but I feel like an old man. Just like all of a sudden, like I see all the gray hair and shit, man, it is done. It is done. John said, I want to see my Las Vegas Raiders in the Super Bowl. John, flashback to the 2000s, and you get to see it, right? You get to see it. Then we got, I saw Seth's name in there. Oh, there it is. Seth is in the chat. What's up, Seth? I see you there. Big guy. What's up, Seth? What's up? Laura Johnson Hedrick's in the chat. She's a Pigskin Pundit as well. What up, Laura? What up? And Jay Smith, number 4, says Eagles or Chiefs. Listen, man, we're still 10 days away, baby. We are still 10 days away. Sky Moore just got activated from the IR. Philadelphia Eagles guys are dropping like fries. Brandon Graham, though, did get cleared to some practice. So it could still go either way. So slow it down, Jay Smith 4. We aren't going to pick the game until probably next Thursday, maybe next Friday. Hell, we might even do a show Sunday morning just because I don't know. But guys, Eagles are or Chiefs. That's the question. Got my man David. David's a Pigskin Pundit as well. He says LA Charger West Coast Man Hour Sports representative is in the house. What's up, David? What's up, man? What's up, guys? So, guys, thank you guys for tuning in today. This is a live interactive show. So if you guys want to talk your shit, feel free below. We got questions to answer. And of course, we do address each and every comment as they come up. But let's start with the Super Bowl talk. Right, let's talk about the Super Bowl talk because we're going to be talking about that for the next 10 days. Of course, we're going to be mixing a little bit more NFL talk, but we got to start off the top. We got to start about the Kansas City Chiefs defense. That's right, the Kansas City Chiefs defense taking on Saquon Barkley. Guys, the Super Bowl Sunday is coming in fast. It's coming in hot, and it is coming in heavy. We are 10 days away from Super Bowl Sunday. We have the Eagles take on the Kansas City Chiefs, as you guys know. The Kansas City Chiefs did finish the regular season 15-2, and the Eagles finished 14-3. Currently, if you look at ESPN Bet, the Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points. However, if you go over to FanDuel, the Eagles are favored by 0.5 points. So it's a very, very evenly matched up opportunity here. Patrick Mahomes did throw for nearly 4,000 yards this season, and Saquon Barkley rushed for over 2,000 yards. I believe it was 2,005 yards this season. However, the Kansas City Chiefs defense has not given up a 100-yard rusher all season long. So let's start off today's show, talk about the Kansas City Chiefs defense. How or can the Kansas City Chiefs defense stop Saquon Barkley from getting that C note, getting the $100 jobs? 100 yards. So guys, the Chiefs defense always steps up in the playoffs. Let's just be flat out honest. Their defense always steps up and performs. The last 3 seasons, even the last 2 seasons, right? They started off slow. About week 10, they turn it on and ramp it up for the playoffs, and they're locked down in the playoffs. This particular season, they've had it been great most of the season. If the Kansas City Chiefs defense wasn't great all season long, we would not be looking at a 15-2 record. We'd probably be looking at a 10-7 record going into this playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs will still probably be in the Super Bowl, but it still wouldn't be as impressive, right? When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs defense, they do have the 8th ranked rush defense in the NFL, only giving up 101.8 yards per game. However, this postseason has been a different story. This postseason, they've been cooked in the rushing game. They're giving up an average of 148 yards per game. They give up 149 yards to the Texans total, and then 147 yards to the Buffalo Bills total. However, they did hold Joe Mixon to under 88 yards, and they hold James Cook to under 85 yards. On the other hand, Saquon Barkley, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. 2,000-yard himself, so far this game, 3 postseason games, he has 442 yards. 119 yards versus the Green Bay Packers, which is the 7th-ranked rush defense in the NFL. 205 yards versus the LA Rams, which is the 22nd-ranked rush defense in the NFL. And then 118 yards versus the Washington Commanders, which was 29th-ranked rush defense in the NFL. So when you look at the stats, when you look at the numbers, when you see all the contribution gone, guys, can the Kansas City Chiefs hold Saquon Barkley to under 100 yards? Now, yesterday on Factor Crap, I thought that Saquon Barkley was going to get his 125 yards. I thought Saquon Barkley was going to go out there and get his bread, get his dollar bills. Yo! But the more I look at it, the more I study it, the more I dive into the film and actually watch the Kansas City Chiefs defense, guys, they are pretty freaking good. They are pretty good. Joe Mixon basically single-handedly carried the Texans to even remotely thinking about beating the Kansas City Chiefs. If Joe Mixon wasn't on the Houston Texans, they wouldn't have got past the Chargers. If Joe Mixon wasn't on the Houston Texans, they wouldn't been within 10 points of the Kansas City Chiefs all game long. Joe Mixon was the man, the myth, the legend, and he was out there to ball out. 149 yards worth, right? You gotta give credit where credit is due. He did his thing. James Cook, one of the best playoff running backs I have seen in a very, very long time. Matter of fact, I think James Cook he just scored another rushing touchdown from last season. Still, he's still racking up those yards from last season, guys. He is the man, the myth, the legend. But the X factor of this whole head-to-head battle, Saquon Barkley for the Kansas City Chiefs defense, is not the players on the field. It is not Saquon Barkley. It is not Chris Jones. It is not Bolton, right? It is not the Kansas City Chiefs defense. It is not Saquon Barkley. What this comes down to is Steve Spagnuolo. What this comes down to is Steve Spagnuolo. Let me say it for the people one more time in the back. The greatest defensive coordinator of all freaking time, Steve Spagnuolo. That is what it comes down to. So, guys, last night I waffled around and said, yeah, he's probably going to get it, right? He's averaging 147 yards this postseason, averaged 119 yards in the regular season. He was doing his thing. But the truth of the matter is, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to ball out and stop Saquon Barkley. They're going to force Jalen Hurts to beat them over the top, to beat them one-on-one on the outside with arguably the 2 best corners in the NFL. It's crazy that Kansas City Chiefs can lose people, but yet insert this piece, insert this piece, insert this piece. This just shows how great of coaching staff that they have from top to bottom, from the cornerback coach, for the assistant to the assistant linebacker coach, to Steve Spagnuolo, right? They are top notch. But guys, Saquon Barkley is still going to get his 100 yards. The Kansas City Chiefs defense has not allowed a 100-yard rusher all season long. It's going to end Sunday. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. It's just Saquon Barkley is on a mission from God. He's got a half a pack of smokes, it's dark, and he's got sunglasses on, and he's going to get his 100 yards rushing. It is what it is, right? It is almost like you got to pick your poison to who do you want to lose to, right? I'd rather let Saquon Barkley get his little bit of bread and give the confidence to Nick Sirianni and the Eagles offense that they're going to run all over him. But the truth of the matter is they're going to right where you want you. Right where you want you, because you're going to have to be in a shootout because Kansas City's offense is deadly in the Super Bowl. So, guys, let me ask the question one more time. that people that are just tuning in. Can the Kansas City Chiefs defense hold Saquon Barkley to under 100 yards in the Super Bowl? I'm saying no. As a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I am saying no. John says, so we have to listen to you slob on Kermit's nabs for the next 10 days. Hey, if you want me to slob on somebody else's knobs, get your team in there, man. Laura says, next subject, please. Can we talk about next season already? The Super Bowl stinks this year. Laura, we're going to be talking about your Minnesota Vikings. You see this in a little run down there underneath the Buffalo Bills in between the Pro Bowl? It says Sam Darnold. We'll be talking about your Vikings. Stay tuned, baby. Stay tuned. And John says, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Saquon Barkley is going to get 175-yard rushing with 3 tutties. And Jim says, Chris Jones better be on that ass, boy. Bring that ass here. Listen, Jim, I think Chris Jones is going to have a hell of a game. I think Chris Jones is going to step up for the 35% of the time that he steps up, and he is going to stop Saquon Barkley big time on third downs. But first and second down, Saquon Barkley's going to get 8 yards there, 12 yards there, might break a 60-yarder because Chris Jones is like, it's not third down. I don't care. Chris Jones is lazy. I know he is one of the best defense of tackles in the NFL. I know that you have to scheme your whole offensive line around him each and every play, but he is lazy. He's lazy. He's lazy. David said, and Vic Fangio is a badass too. David, Patrick Mahomes is 10-2 versus Vic Fangio. However, Vic Fangio is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Not offense, not Saquon Barkley. It doesn't matter about Vic Fangio. We will talk about Vic Fangio in the next segment. But right now, slow it down, baby. And Laura says Barkley will walk all over Kansas City. She says that hurts to say. She says Saquon Barkley is going to go out there and he might rush for a Super Bowl record 285 yards in this game and might break 4 touchdowns just because he can. And Laura says that hurts her because she's rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. She wants the Kansas City Chiefs to play or win. Spooner Man says meteor strike. I don't want any of the teams to win. Like, why? Like, what is the big deal? Because think about this. If the Chiefs win, there will be a shooting in Kansas City. There'll be some gang-related violence right by the hospital, right where the parade's at, and it's going to ricochet over into the parade. And the Kansas City Chiefs like, oh, there's a shooting in the parade. Philadelphia Eagles win. Everybody's going to have their guns out. Pop, 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 pop. Like, it is going to be a gun battle, right? How about this? Can both teams win? Alpha Rob says no. Good try, Kansas City Chiefs defense, but the Eagles are going to run the ball 25 plus times in this game, and Saquon Barkley is going to run all over him. Not even going to be a chance, baby. Not even a chance. Damn, Alpha Rob. Damn. Didn't you say that about your Buffalo Bills too? Too soon? Too soon? Not bad. David says, I need that tush push to get to the third and shorts. Right up the gut, out Chris Jones. Listen. Jalen Hurts, whether you want to admit it or not, is a great tush push person. I don't know his injury to his knee. Obviously, he didn't wear the knee brace versus the Commanders, and he should be trending in the right direction, being 100%. But the biggest issue for the Eagles right now is Cam Jurgens. He's had back spasms. He didn't play, or he didn't start for the Commanders. He did insert in the third or fourth quarter because their backup center hurt his knee or something. And I think he is out. So if Cam Jurgens is still having back spasms and their backup center is still hurt, that could be the biggest X factor of the whole game, right? Offensive line. Imagine that, right? Skiing's number 1 says, who do you guys got winning? Well, number 1, we got 10 days till the Super Bowl. We got a lot of storylines to cover. We got Sky Moore coming back. We got Brandon Graham coming back. We don't know yet. I'm not going to pick my winner until Thursday or Friday. I will be rooting for my Kansas City Chiefs. Let's not get it twisted. But just because I'm rooting for my team doesn't mean they're going to win. I might pick the Eagles to win. You never know. We'll find out next week. Kush Master says, I'm just a salty Giants fan. Go Chiefs, make history. Listen, Kush, like, I feel like a lot of people are kind of in your shoes here. Like, we all want to see history, but we also want our teams to be there. So, like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Laura says, I'm wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey on Super Bowl Sunday. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Laura, don't you dare do that. Don't you dare wear that Kansas City Chiefs jersey on Sunday. Do not even think about it. Because if I remember correctly, you wore a Minnesota Vikings jersey wild card Monday. Your team lost. The following week, you did wear a Detroit Lions jersey. That team lost. Flashback to wild card week, and you wore that cheese head. That cheese head right there. You had it on your head, and you're saying, go, Pack, go. That team lost. So, Lord, don't you dare put on a Kansas City Chiefs jersey. I'm just playing. Jim says, David, we got the backup center unless Philly's starter gets over his back issues. I thought the backup center, Jim, hurt his knee like pretty bad. I can't remember the name. It's the big black man. That narrows it down, right? Yeah, I thought he was out. I thought he was out. I could be wrong. Laura says, yes, I just didn't like the Eagles that much. I hate the Kansas City just the same, but I hate the Eagles. John says, read option Hurts going to rush for 80. No, he's not. No, he is not. If Jalen Hurts rushed for 80 yards, the Eagles are getting blown out. I'm just saying. David says, drug him up with the best painkillers available. Take a shot, take a pill, take some cocaine. It doesn't matter. Get your ass out there, boys. It's the Super Bowl. And John says, hey, Laura, when you get that Kansas City Chiefs jersey on, make sure you go live. Make sure you go live so we can see it. Because we don't believe you. Don't you dare wear that jersey, Laura. I will so kick you in the feet. Next up, guys, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I know. Everybody doesn't like Kermit, right? But the point of the matter is Patrick Mahomes only has one Super Bowl loss so far in his career. One Super Bowl loss. The man is 3-1 in the Super Bowl. 3 Super Bowl rings in 7 years. Man, put some respect on that name. But guys, how can the Eagles pull off this upset? Right now, it is still an upset. The Kansas City Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points. How can the Eagles pull off this upset? The lone loss that Patrick Mahomes has in the Super Bowl is to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In that particular game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers put pressure on Patrick Mahomes play after play after play. They sacked him 3 times and hit him 10 times. However, he was injured in that game. However, he had that highly sprained ankle and he was limping. He had to get shot up just to even step on the field. Left tackle was a huge issue for the Kansas City Chiefs all season long. That year, if you guys flash back, they lost Orlando Brown Jr. to the Cincinnati Bengals because he wanted to chase a championship. How's that going now, furry boy? But we digress. So far this season, left tackle, once again, has been an issue for the Kansas City Chiefs. Once again, left tackle has been an issue for the Kansas City Chiefs. They've actually given up 36 sacks so far this season. Actually, in the postseason, Patrick Mahomes has been sacked 5 times, 3 against the Texans and 2 versus the Buffalo Bills. He's been sacked and he's been hit a lot this season. However, Andy Reid, one of the best coaches in the NFL, let's put some respect on the name and give credit where credit is due. He has done great this season, shuffling the line around to make it work. Earlier in the season, we saw a 5-sack game. We saw a 3-sack game. We saw a 4-sack game. Patrick Mahomes getting hit a lot early in the season. Morris got benched. Insert Humphreys. Humphreys got injured. Insert Joe Thuney. Moved from guard out to tackle. Since Joe Thuney has been moved out to tackle, the Kansas City Chiefs have only given up 2 sacks in the regular season. Of course, 5 in the postseason. So 7 total sacks in 7 games with Joe Thuney starting. Yes, they did have the 5-sack game versus the Denver Broncos, but that doesn't really count. Let's just be honest. But guys, the Eagles have to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Has to make him step up in the pocket. Maintain your integrity, maintain your lanes, but make him step up in the pocket. Once Patrick Mahomes is able to get outside the pocket, that is when he is dangerous. When he's able to escape your defensive ends, escape your edge rushers, he has time to survey the field. He really has some good speed. He can sneak out and get the first down, or he can throw a bullet down the field, or he can throw a nice little lob pass to D-Hop 80 yards down the field if he wants to. Guys, the only way the Philadelphia Eagles can pull off this upset is to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. I don't care about Jalen Hurts. I don't care about Saquon Barkley. I don't care about A.J. Brown. I don't care about the Chiefs defense. I don't care about the Chiefs offensive line. What it comes down to is the Eagles defensive line, their front four versus Patrick Mahomes. Can you put pressure on him? That is how you beat him. Will that happen? No. Patrick Mahomes is too crafty. He's too good. He's too good in the Super Bowl. So guys, let me ask this question. How do you guys think that Patrick Mahomes, or how can the Philadelphia Eagles upset the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl? John says it's simple. Pressure him. Pressure him, period. He must go down early and often. Hurt that ankle, says John. I threw in that part, but I'm sure that's what people are thinking. I'm sure that is what Mark's thinking. Hurt the man, right? Don't ever wish injury on like anybody. That's just silly. Josh Olson's in the chat today. He says the Chiefs' O-line was terrible in that Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. It was absolutely terrible. Not only did they not have a left tackle in that game, I believe the starting left tackle in that game went down in the AFC Championship. Actually, I think 2 offensive linemen went down in the AFC Championship before the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes had the injured ankle. They were just terrible. If we had Orlando Brown Jr. in that game, we probably would have won that game, and we'd be having a totally different story, right? 4 Super Bowls in 5 years. Like, stop it, right? And Laura says it's got to be able to keep both quarterbacks in the pocket. Not wrong. Jalen Hurts outside the pocket is very, very dangerous too. He is sneakily fast, has a very, very strong arm, and he can run some people over just like Patrick Mahomes can. Laura, you are not wrong. Jim said Philly pulling an upset? You've been hanging out in Denver? Mike high? Listen, I've never been high. I never will be high. But Philly is not pulling the upset. Excuse me. Bill Cross Jr.'s in the chat today. What's up, Bill? He says, I disagree. Control with Saquon and keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Bill, I would agree with you if this was the regular season. I would agree with you by controlling the clock, giving the ball to Saquon, keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. If it was week 11, week 12, week 4, week 5, I would agree with you on that. But you understand, it's Patrick freaking Mahomes in the playoffs. Matter of fact, it's Patrick freaking Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You give Patrick Mahomes any time in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, he is going to put the ball in the correct position. He's going to get that score. He's the best situational postseason quarterback, period. The only way you are going to be able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs this season is to hit him. Hit him, and hit him again. And Jim says, so you made your pick? Is this breaking news? You can read between the lines all you want, Jimmy boy. I have not made my picks yet. I'm going to waffle around it until the cows come home. Laura says, I think Philly going to upset KC. Big this year, unfortunately. Listen, Laura, if Philly wins, hey, all the power to them. All power to them, right? That just means KC's going to be hungry next year, and we'll be back in the Super Bowl next year, baby, playing the Dallas Cowboys. James Fraser in the chat. What's up, James? He says, run Saquon. And oh, yeah, did I forget? Let me clear my throat. Run Saquon, says James. When they don't expect it, you get A.J. Brown involved as well. So James is saying the Eagles can upset the Kansas City Chiefs by simply run Saquon again, deep pass to A.J. Brown, Saquon. So James and Bill are kind of on the same page, right? You guys are saying basically take the ball out of Kansas City Chiefs hands. Take them out and let them roll. Ben F is in the chat. What's up, Ben? He says, expect holding penalties on the Eagles' old line. They will limit Saquon by stopping good runs with the holding call. AKA, the NFL is rigged, right, Ben? Ben's saying the NFL is rigged. Like, listen, there's holding on every NFL play. Offensive line holds every play. It's just a matter if the referees call it or not. Ben, you're not really going out on a ledge there, big guy. Let me help you out. Let me help you out and go on that edge there, Ben. What is going to happen? It's going to be 28-27. Kansas City Chiefs are down with a minute and a half left. They're driving down the field, 4th and 15, incomplete pass. Boom, holding call on Cooper DeJean on D-Hop. That's what's going to happen. Kansas City Chiefs get the ball on the 10-yard line, milk out the clock. Game-winning field goal by Christian man himself, Harrison Buckner. He's not out there getting massages from Diddy's family. David says, Buck, slow it down, baby! On the Mahomes Love Fest. Listen, you guys got to give credit where credit is due. The whole Kansas City Chiefs roster, Andy Reid should have been coach of the year. Let's just be flat out honest. Not even in consideration. Patrick Mahomes is arguably the MVP of the NFL. Yes, he did not put up the numbers like Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson, but where would the Kansas City Chiefs be without Patrick Mahomes? 2-15? Let's just be honest. Not very good. I'm just saying Mahomes is that damn good, especially in the postseason, especially in the Super Bowl. Better than Tom Brady. Bryson says, go Chiefs, let's three-peat, baby. There's another $1 million for Pat Riley. Pat Riley is the person that trademarked three-peat. We can't say three-peat. I think we have to say Chief Pete. Chief, like the Chiefs, not the cheat. Chief Pete. John says, Homer Waffleson is in the house. Listen, I can't make my picks yet, John. I can't make my picks yet because there's a lot of storylines we got to cover still. Still gotta get excited. Still gotta do a little this. James Fez, that's facts. Myles Garrett gets held every play, and the refs say, yeah, he's just too good. Coming from a Browns fan. What's up, James? Miss you, buddy. Jim Powell says he can't help Mahomes loves. When someone says Patrick, him and Casey's mouths fly wide open. We have to have both of our mouths open, Jim, because his Johnson is so freaking long. We got to get the base, we got to get the tip, and we both got to cup both balls. I got a pair of nuts, and then Casey's got a pair of nuts. You're just jealous that your quarterback doesn't have that big a swanker. Oh, man, sorry. Off the rails, Buck. Bring it back in. Laura says the Eagles are going to have to score first and lead the entire time to win this game. I think the Kansas City Chiefs forget to show up to this game. Wishful thinking. The Kansas City Chiefs are not going to forget to show up to this game, Laura. Come on, it's the Super Bowl, baby. They're not going to be like the, what was the Super Bowl? Was that the Broncos Super Bowl where very first snap, the ball goes over Cam Newton's head and they get blown out like 38-7? That's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. J-Dog Jace says the Eagles are better. J-Dog, I agree with you on this. On paper, if you look at every position, besides tight end, besides quarterback, maybe cornerback, the Eagles are better at every position than the Kansas City Chiefs. Better offensive line, better running backs, better receiving core, better linebacking core, better defensive line. Corners are questionable. I think Cooper DeJean has a very, very big, bright future ahead of him, but Trent McDuffie is arguably the best lockdown corner in the NFL. Safeties, I think the Eagles got it with Bradbury and them. J-Dog J, you are right. The Eagles are better on paper. On paper, the Philadelphia Eagles should win this game. On paper, the Philadelphia Eagles should win by 15 points. On paper, hell, on Madden, the Eagles should win this game. But, J-Dog, there's such thing as called real life, man. There is such thing as called it factor. There's such thing as we're just scared of that team. The Philadelphia Eagles do not have the coaching staff that the Kansas City Chiefs have. The Philadelphia Eagles do not have that it factor. The Philadelphia Eagles fear the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs fear nobody. So as the Eagles might have the better roster from top to bottom, they don't have those three things. It is what it is. David is laughing out there. John is saying this dude is delusional part already. I'm not delusional, baby. Get excited. Get excited. Listen, guys, I've been holding in my homerness all year long. When we did our picks back in June and July, I said, hey, the Kansas City Chiefs may only get 11 wins. That was me completely downplaying their whole season. We here, baby. 15-2, Super Bowl 3-peat Petty. Let's go. Stop it. Stop it. James says, if the Chiefs win, I'll be happy for one man, and that is my guy, Kareem Hunt. James, listen, you cannot claim Kareem Hunt. We let you guys rent him for a couple years because he decided to beat some white chick that beat his face, or that spit on his face. The Kansas City Chiefs drafted Kareem Hunt. Kansas City Chiefs made Kareem Hunt what he is. We just let you rent him for a couple years and basically ruin his career, and we brought him back. And now he's going to get a Super Bowl ring. You're welcome. Kush says, 07 Patriots thought the Giants was light work too. Listen, I'm not saying the Philadelphia Eagles are light work whatsoever. I don't think anybody's saying that any team is light work. I think this is the best matchup that we could have asked for, to be honest. But it is what it is. John says, Buck, the bone hawker. Hawk Tua on that thing. Bill says, I feel like I'm just listening to Nick Never Wright. Listen, I hate Nick Wright. I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch FS1. I don't watch the NFL today, mainly because there are a lot of homers out there, right? There's a lot of homers that love their teams. And Nick Wright is a little over the top. I stopped watching him because, for one, his hair's all black and greasy. It's just freaking gross. Cut your damn hair, man. But, Bill, I'll tone it back. I will tone it back a little bit. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I want you to stay around, Bill. Become a Pigskin Pundit. Click on the subscribe tag, buddy. And we'll talk about your team, but I will tone it back. I will tone it back. Jim says, we had a center that forgot to show up one time. What are you even talking about? What are you even talking about? Jim says, holding it in. I don't know what you're talking about. All I hear is Gary Owens. I don't know who Gary Owens is. Bill says, we have those Georgia dogs on the D line. They don't fear the Chiefs. You're right. Georgia only fears Alabama. Josh says the Chiefs were 18-point underdogs in the 2019 Super Bowl against the Niners, and the Chiefs won 31-20. There was no way they were 18-point underdogs. Stop it. There has never been an 18-point underdog. Like, get out of here, Josh. Don't be pulling up random numbers like that. Come on. But guys, we've been talking a lot about the defenses. We've been talking about how great the Eagles defense is. I've been talking about how good the Kansas City Chiefs defense is. The last 2 days, and probably for the next 10 days, we are going to be talking about how great the defenses are in this Super Bowl matchup. But the truth of the matter is, guys, we still have two really good offenses as well. We have two really good offenses that are about to go to battle. Now, I understand all the hype around the defenses. I understand all the hype around Saquon Barkley. I understand all this hype around this, and this. Because are we about to really see a shootout? Are we about to see a shootout? The reason that I say this is I think we are going to see a shootout. meaning 30-plus points for both teams. The reason that I think we're going to see a shootout is because there's going to be so much emphasis of stopping Saquon Barkley. There's going to be so much emphasis of running on the Philadelphia Eagles' subpar rush defense. There's going to be so much emphasis of this point that the offenses are about to show out. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is only ranked 16th overall in the regular season. Philadelphia Eagles offense is ranked 8th overall in the regular season. In passing, Kansas City Chiefs are ranked 14th. Philadelphia Eagles, not very good, 29th. Phillies had the second ranked rush defense or rush offense, and the Kansas City Chiefs had the 22nd ranked offense. And on the other hand, the Philadelphia Eagles are only averaging 27 points per game. The Kansas City Chiefs are only averaging 23 points per game. Guys, we are going to see an offensive shootout. Jalen Hurts might throw for 300-plus yards. Patrick Mahomes will throw for 300-plus yards. Saquon Barkley is going to get his. Kareem Hunt's going to get a little bit of his, 60 yards. But it is going to come down to a quarterback battle. That is what the NFL wants. That's what the fans want. And I think that's what the teams are going to deliver is we're going to have a shootout. 30-31, 33-30, that type of score. Hell, even if it is a defensive shootout, I'm a defensive guy. I love me some defense, right? I love me some defense, and I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at a 10-7 score. That 100% favors the Kansas City Chiefs all day long. I think a shootout kind of favors the Philadelphia Eagles a little bit, honestly. So, guys, do you think we're going to have a shootout or a defensive slugfest in this Super Bowl? I think it's going to be a high-scoring 30-plus points on both sides of the ball. So 33-30, 36-33, that type of score. What do you guys think? James Frank Kareem probably wouldn't be in the league if Dorsey didn't give him that second chance. I think you're right, James. I don't understand why people overlooked him so much, honestly. Jim says the Raiders center went AWOL. Didn't he do like some type of drugs and got lost or something? Seth said, did you get the job you interviewed for? Seth, become a pigskin pundit, and we can talk about that after the show. We can talk about that after show one night. Richard Abruz 2000 says Eagles by 13. I don't think it's going to be a double-digit score. James says it's going to be a great game. Christian Petty says, don't know what you're talking about, bro. What don't I know about, Christian? Asking for a friend. What don't I know about? Enlighten me. Try to educate me, Christian. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to look on the other side of the box. Teach me. Educate me. Do better. Don't talk down to people because they don't know what they're talking about or they don't know this or don't know that. Educate us. Be better. Laura says it's going to be a very, very tight game. I agree. Dylan Holmes says, my Bears need an offensive line. Dylan, if you flash back to the Chicago Bears, was a 3 or 4 game winning streak. They had the top 10 offensive line in the NFL. They have opportunities to be great. They just poor coaching, poor play calling, poor execution, poor everything in Chicago. Sorry you are a Chicago Bears fan. You should probably switch over to a Minnesota Vikings fan. All right, guys, so let's move on. Let's move on and we'll go around the NFL and let's go over to New York. Buffalo, New York, I might add. And as you guys know, the Buffalo Bills are not in the Super Bowl yet again. However, Bills general manager Brandon Beane says he is determined to break through to the Super Bowl. He said, I want to keep kicking at the door. Eventually, it will come open. So, guys, we've seen the Buffalo Bills. They had a great season. They had a great season last year, right? They have been in the AFC Championship game, but they've lost to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes 4 times in the playoffs in the last 7 years. So, guys, let me ask this question. How can the Buffalo Bills break through the door and get to the Super Bowl? How can Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott and Josh Allen get to the Super Bowl and break through this door? Guys, the Buffalo Bills had a top-notch offense most season. Most of the season, they were top-notch. They finished with a 10th ranked overall offense, 9th in passing and 9th in rushing. Nice, well-balanced attack from the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen had an MVP year. James Cook had a hell of a season year, right? And let's not forget, air quotes here, very loosely air quotes, they were in a rebuild year. If you guys do not remember, everybody had them picking third, if not last, in the AFC East. They thought the Jets, they thought the Dolphins, they thought the Patriots were all going to finish over the Buffalo Bills this season. One of the worst receiving cores ever. What are they doing up there? They don't know what they're doing in Buffalo, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Rebuild year. Hold my beer, says Josh Allen. The defense was the weak point of this team. Let's just be honest. The defense was the weak point of this team. 17th ranked overall defense, 24th in passing, 12th in rushing defense. This year, this offseason, I think they need to address the defense. They need to address that defense. Defensive backs are a huge need for the Buffalo Bills, followed by edge rusher. So secondary, front four are big needs for the Buffalo Bills. And I think they can address this in free agency. This draft, I want to see them add depth. This free agency, I want them to add Super Bowl team. Shadarius Ward is a free agent for the San Francisco 49ers, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he wants out of San Francisco. Charlton Davis from the Detroit Lions. He's a free agent. DJ Reed from the New York Jets. They all seem good fits in that secondary for the Buffalo Bills, and they would definitely elevate that team 100%. And let's not forget, from my Kansas City Chiefs, Justin Reed. He is a free agent as well. Kansas City Chiefs are known to go basically after Houston Texans safeties, bring him in for one contract, Honey Badger, now Justin Reed, and then let them walk, and they kind of do their thing for a couple years, right? So Buffalo Bills could go out there and get Justin Reed. So those secondaries, right? Shadarius Ward, Justin Reed, Charlton Davis, and DJ Reed are all good candidates to go out there and get. Now for edge rushers. There's some pretty good edge rushers that are out there. One of which I would love the Buffalo Bills to go get is a 10-year vet, actually it would be 11-year vet at this particular find, is Deontay Flower from the Washington Commanders. He would fit perfect with number 57. I can never remember his name. You put Devontae Flower opposite of number 57 for the Buffalo Bills, havoc is coming. Chase Young is also a free agent. Hassan Reddick, also a free agent. He definitely doesn't want to stay in New York, let's just be honest. So how the Buffalo Bills guys can break through this door to get to the Super Bowl, add secondary, add edge rusher, and the third step is the coaching needs to figure out a game plan to beat Kansas City Chiefs. You don't need to worry about beating the Baltimore Ravens. You don't need to worry about beating the Bengals. You don't need to worry about beating the Steelers, Browns, whatever. You need to build a team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You need to find a game plan that beats the Kansas City Chiefs. You need to figure out how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. Find that plan and stick to it. Stop trying to outplay them. Stop trying to compete with them, mind game them, and outcoach them. And that's how the Buffalo Bills can make it into the Super Bowl next season. So guys, in the comments below, what do the Buffalo Bills need to do to kick in that door, get over the 0-4 hump for the Kansas City Chiefs, and finally make it to the Super Bowl? Alpha Rob is our resident Buffalo Bills expert here in the Man Hour. He says, Allen got that first. Bills need change the defensive scheme. Stop with the nickel. I do not like the soft nickel coverage, Alpha Rob. You are exactly right. It was against the Baltimore Ravens. They had Von Miller was rushing all game long. Late in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden they drop him back. That's not Von Miller. You paid Von Miller 4 years, $100 million to go get the quarterback in these situations. You drop him down in coverage? Stupid. Coaching is the number one thing. James Frank says Allen will have a ring before he retires, but will it be in Buffalo? So James is kind of enticing and kind of hanging out that carrot is that, yeah, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills will never win a Super Bowl, but Josh Allen will win a ring when he goes to Miami in a couple years. I'm not for sure if the Buffalo Bills ever let Josh Allen walk away. I'm just saying. Dylan Holmes says, my Bears for Ben Johnson. That's a step in the right direction. Dylan, we are going to be covering the Chicago Bears a lot this offseason. I have a lot of Chicago Bears people that I can work with, that I've done shows with, that I'm guest on their shows. We'll be talking a lot about your Chicago Bears, but Ben Johnson's not the answer. I'm just letting you know. Ben Johnson's not the answer. Josh Olson said, AB should come back to the NFL and join the Buffalo Bills. Are you talking about Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown is done, buddy. The Buffalo Bills receiving corps is perfectly fine. What they need to do is they need to make sure they bring back Mac Hollins. He was a big factor for them this season. That's what they need to do, is make sure they bring him back. And Alpha Rob said the secondary is going to look different next season. Alpha Rob, it looked different this season too, right? You try to cut all that dead weight, bring in those fresh young guys. You cut White, and you cut those other guys. Like, basically, the only guys left you had on your roster from last season was Hamlin. It has to look different. John says, yes, then he will have the key to the city. Listen, Josh Allen already has the key to the city in Buffalo. Josh Allen can just be making it to the playoffs and win one game year after year after year, and I still think he's going to own the city of Buffalo. It is what it is. Dylan Holmes says, we also got Dennis Allen for the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. Congratulations. Way to waste a hire. Jim says they've been 4 times. What he's talking about breaking into, Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly will show up at his house. He means in this modern era, Jim. We're not talking about the 90s. We're not talking about the 80s or the 70s or the 60s. We're talking about 2025. 2026. Before 2030, can they break in that door? I don't know. John says, and cut his grass and wash his car. What? Seth says they need a new defensive scheme. It's pretty cut and dry. We need a new defensive scheme. And JM, what's up, JM? He says, let's take it one step further and let's get a top 5 receiver. I like the receiving core that the Buffalo Bills have. I like the offense that the Buffalo Bills have. Don't change that. Change the defensive secondary, get yourself an edge rusher. John says, tighten up on defense. 46 creates pressure turnovers. I don't know who 46 is. Or is that a 4-6 defense? Is that some type of old school 4-6 defense? Put 10 guys in the box? JM says the Buffalo Bills receiving core is trash. Mac Hollins was a Philly reject who got no separation. Cooper is washed and he needs a legit top 5 receiver. You have Dalton Kincaid. You have Dalton Knox, or is it Dalton Knox or Doxson Knox? Whoever. You have Coleman. You have Shakir. Like, you are fine in receivers, right? You are fine. And James is like, yeah, guys. Buffalo is Josh Allen's city. Buffalo is Josh Allen's state. Buffalo is the state of New York. Let's just be honest. New York is not even a state. It's Buffalo. Gamer LCM says, are the Commanders going to win the Super Bowl next year? No. They're not even going to make it to the NFC Championship game, Gamer. Josh says AD could come out of retirement and join the Buffalo Bills defense. Who is AD? Who is AD? Antonio, who is AD? I don't understand who AD is. Gamer LCM says, I think the Bills need Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is retiring the last I heard. Alpha Rob says Brady needs the OC and also stop with the wide receiver screen. They're like, yeah, the wide receiver screen is trash. Terrible. JM says, would any other receiver start somewhere like Philly, Cincinnati, Miami, Minnesota, or even Houston? Yes, they would. Mac Hollins had a great season. You can, whether he had separation or not, he is a possession receiver, right? Coleman would be a starter on any of those teams as well. Shakir would definitely be a starter on any other. All those guys are starting on all of those teams. John says the 46 defense watched the 85 Bears defense. John, you cannot play 85 style defense in 2025. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. I don't care how good they were. You cannot play a 4-6 defense. It's not going to work. AD's Aaron Donald. He's not coming out of retirement to go to Buffalo. If anything, he would want to go to a Super Bowl contender like the Kansas City Chiefs. James Frank says, you're right. Give the Bills an edge rusher and change their defensive scheme and give them Chase Young. So JMs wants me to compare A.J. Brown, Smitty, assuming that means Devontae Smith, Goddard, come on, stop it. So A.J. Brown is a good receiver. He has 1,000 yards year in and like year out. He is the number one guy. Yes. Devontae Smith, consistently hurt now. I would take Coleman over Devontae Smith. I would take Shakir over Devontae Smith. I would take Matt Collins probably over Devontae Smith right now. Yes. Goddard, yes, I would take Knox and Kincaid both over Dallas Goedert. Yes, I would. But guys, how can the Buffalo Bills kick in the door? How can they kick in the door in the Super Bowl? I'm out, says JM. You're delusional. JM, what has Devontae Smith done? Like legitimately. Go look at the stats. Go look at the film. Go look at the tape. What has Devontae Smith done? Devontae Smith is a below average receiver with top tier talent. He has all the talent in the world. He has the potential to be great, but he's not. I don't know if it's because of the offensive scheme. I don't know if it's because of the shadow of A.J. Brown. I don't know if it's just because he's always injured, but right now, Devontae Smith is not a top receiver in the NFL. He's just not. Now between Dallas Goedert and like Knox and Kincaid, it's probably neck and neck. But I'll take 2 tight ends over one any day of the week. And James says, Buck, stop. No way them guys are over Dallas Goedert. Besides that big stiff arm, 5 stiff arms, I guess. What has Dallas Goedert really done? Right? Let's just be honest. Josh says, I think that AB and AD would get the Buffalo Bills over the hump. Who is AB? So obviously AD is Aaron Donald. Who is AB? The only AB I can think of is Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is not getting the Buffalo Bills over the hump. And Alpha Rob says Devontae Smith and Waddle are the same receiver. They are. And they both went to Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, right? I could be wrong. John says not much because Hurts was hurt. Deep ball threat. Hurts was hurt, the deep ball threat. I don't know what that means. Alpha Rob says the Bills don't need any washed up players, but they have washed up coaches. James Frank says, you are right about Smutty, though. Dude makes some great plays through and has heart, but dang, he's dying in a Brown's shadow, an AJ Brown shadow. Listen, Devontae Smith has all the talent in the world. He has the capability of being a top 15, top 10 receiver in the NFL. He just isn't. He just isn't. And AB is Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is not going to be welcome back to the NFL ever again. I'm just saying. Speaking of welcome back to the NFL, Sam Darnold. Guys, Sam Darnold had a great season. Let's just be honest. There is no secret about it. There is no denying it. There is no way of really trying to shade it one way or the other. He had a great season. And he played on a very team-friendly contract this season. 1 year, $10 million to be exact. But by him having this great season, per sportstrack.com, he is projected to sign a 3-year, $100 million deal. So when we look at Sam Darnold, there are several teams out there that could use the services of a quarterback. 4,300-yard passing from last season, 35 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. But guys, what team makes the most sense for Sam Darnold next season? Sam Darnold, guys, did have 43 yards passing this season, 35 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. His best season before that was his second season, the sophomore slump season, right, with 3,024 yards to 19 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. So there are several teams out there that could use the services of a quarterback, but I've narrowed it down to 4. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the New York Jets, New York Football Giants, and the Las Vegas Raiders could all use starting quarterbacks for the 2025 NFL season. Let's start off at the top, the New York Jets. Let's just go ahead and throw them out right there. The Jets, no way, no how is Sam Darnold going to you. You guys left Sam out to dry 2 of the 3 seasons. 2 of the 3 seasons that Sam Darnold was in New York, his rookie, sophomore, and junior year, 2 of those 3 seasons you guys were there to tank. Sam Darnold should never go back to New York. Never, ever, ever keep them in your rearview mirror. Check that off the list. Get it out of here. Now let's look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 years, $100 million. What's that? Roughly 30 some odd million dollars a year. Right? So looking at $33 million a season, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers guys have around $40 million in cap space in 2025. But beyond a quarterback, they do need some receiver help. They need some offensive line help. And they need a big culture shift. That's what it comes down to. I feel that the Pittsburgh Steelers can address their wide receiver needs in the draft, but the old line could get costly. $30 million a year per Sam Darnold leaves you about $10 million to play with. I'm not sure if they could get that to work out. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers out. Now, the New York Giants. This team is very, very intriguing to me. The New York Giants guys are not a bad team. They have a nice young wide receiver core. They have a pretty decent defense. They have a lot of core pieces on that defense that could be a great defense if the right coach and scheme comes into play. Offensive line is fairly good, getting better. And Tyrone Tracy from last season came on late and is a good running back in place of Saquon Barkley. The New York Giants have around $43 million in cap space, so they can definitely afford him and definitely bring in another talent or 2 to really catapult this team in the right direction. So out of those 4 teams so far, the New York Giants are sitting at number 1. I think the New York Giants could be a perfect spot for Sam Darnold. Go back into New York, stick it to the Jets, and get the Giants to the playoffs. I think that could happen. Now this last team, the Las Vegas Raiders. I know. Raiders suck. I feel that the Raiders should be in a complete rebuild mode. New head coach, but same defensive coordinator. New offensive coordinator, but same quarterback. But all they do have some good defensive parts in Las Vegas. They have an opportunity to be a great defense, but they aren't that right now. The offense also has some parts of the puzzle put together as well. They're starting to build the border on the offense as well. Jacoby Myers came on late last season. Brock Bowers is going to be a tight end to reckon with for many, many years to come. On the bright side, though, in Vegas, they have over $100 million in cap space. $100 million in cap space. So they could legit do a complete rebuild and bring in all these extra players and do really, really well. But that's not the Raiders' MO, is it? That is not the Las Vegas Raiders' MO. So out of those 4 teams, the Jets, Steelers, Giants, and Raiders, I think the best fit for Sam Darnold next season, beyond the Minnesota Vikings, obviously, would be the New York Football Giants. I think he would thrive in New York. He would thrive underneath the pressure, and he would thrive to want to stick it to the New York media each and every chance that he got. So, guys, what do you guys think? Sam Darnold is going to get a payday. Whether you want to admit it or not, he is going to get paid. What is the best team for him? James Frank says, that's crazy. He'd be making more than Baker Mayfield, but Baker is still better. Listen. Next quarterback up is always going to be the next highest paid quarterback. James, I even heard rumors of Sam Darnold signing a 4 or 5 year deal north of $250 million. Wrap your head around that. This man had one good season, 4,000 yards. It was a great season. Minnesota Vikings were 14-3. But damn, one good season? So my man had sex one good time, blew the lady's mind, and now she wants to wife him up. But then he sucks. I'm kidding. James says he's definitely not going to the Jets. Listen, if I was Sam Darnold, I would go to the Jets, make my contract guaranteed. I want a guaranteed $100 million, $155 million contract. Guaranteed money. Oh, shit, my back hurts. Oh, man, I got turf toe. Oh, man, this helmet doesn't quite fit. Pull a Josh Olsen's AB there, right? Antonio Brown. Go to the freeze tub and freeze your feet off. John says, I heard Jimmy G is in Minnesota. John, the last I heard, Aaron Rodgers was going to Minnesota. So I guess they'll have the best of both worlds there, Jimmy G and Aaron Rodgers, to teach J.J. McCarthy. Oh, wait, J.J. McCarthy is going somewhere else, too. J.J. McCarthy is going to New York. Alpha Rob says, neither one of those teams have two top receivers. Darnold will fail. Meaning the Giants and the Steelers? Well, Alpha Rob, as I do think George Pickens is a good talent, I think George Pickens is officially out of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers will either trade him away and get some draft capital, or they're going to draft the number one receiver. I don't know who that number one receiver will be. I've been watching the Senior Bowl a little bit. There's some standouts that are happening that are going to be nice second, third round picks. So that could definitely be some number one guys. But the Giants, they definitely have a number one guy. They have Malik Neighbors. That man is going to be a dog. That man's going to be a dog. Seth says the Raiders suck, and Sanders is going there. Seth, slow it down, baby. Stick around for Factor Crap. Slow it down. We're going to be talking about those Raiders and Dak Prescott, baby. Let's go. We'll talk about that. And Laura says, the last I heard, the Atlanta Falcons were going to collude to get Sam Darnold down there, and I think Atlanta Falcons seemed like a good place for him to go. Sheesh, Laura. Sheesh. Too soon. James says that Darnold-Neighbors connection would be crazy. Listen, I don't want to throw shade at the Minnesota Vikings. I don't want to show shade at Sam Darnold. I don't want to throw shade at anybody. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and be better, right? But I think Sam Darnold was all product of the system, James. Laura, Jim, Alpha Rob, the rest of the people out there, John, Casey, Josh. I think Sam Darnold and the Kevin O'Connell system was a perfect match. It was a perfect marriage. You had two really, really good receivers. You had a really good running back. You had a really an underrated defense. Minnesota Vikings was a perfect fit for Sam Darnold. If he goes anywhere, he is going to all of a sudden be the man, the myth, the legend. Go out there and win me some games, and that's where he's going to crumble. Josh says he would be a great fit in the Giants, Seahawks, and Titans. Listen, the Seahawks are not going to move on from Geno Smith. I think they signed a 3-year deal with Geno. If I'm not mistaken, Geno and Sam Darnold are the same age, or at least pretty equivalent. The Titans, I think they want to draft a quarterback, or at least get a younger quarterback, a.k.a. Hendon Hooker, even though he's not that much younger, but a younger quarterback. I don't see him going to the Titans, but I could be wrong, right? Could be wrong. Seth says, anybody going to watch the boring Pro Bowl? No, not at all, Seth. I have the skills competition paused. I'm going to watch the skills competition, but the Pro Bowl, nah, not at all. Laura says Sam Darnold isn't staying. Interesting. John says all of this Raider BS I'm hearing driving me nuts to Medicare. John, stay tuned, man, because we're going to be talking about Max Crosby and your quarterback situation coming up here. Casey said the Chiefs just announced no rally if they win the Super Bowl. That's a complete false statement. They are moving it, Casey. So I am a Kansas City native, and the last 2 seasons they've had at Union Station, where the draft was at, they've said they will hold a rally, just not on Hospital Hill, aka Union Station. They're going to move it to Power and Light, that type of area. So James says, honestly, I think it would be a mistake on the Vikings to let him go. for that exact reason. The system is his soulmate. At the same time, you got J.J. McCarthy. That could be the system of the soulmate either. So soulmate too. But let's talk about the Pro Bowl, guys. Let's talk about the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl. As you guys know, the Super Bowl is obviously one of the biggest sporting events of the year. Bigger than the NBA Finals, bigger than Major League Baseball, bigger than the WNBA. It's the biggest sporting event of the year, hands down. It's also one of the most expensive sporting events of the year. I just looked up the tickets. The nosebleed seats are $4,000. If you want a halfway decent seat, you're looking about $12,000. Guys, I think the Super Bowl should have a home team. I think a home team, meaning the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles, should be able to host the Super Bowl that particular season. And I understand that it takes a lot to get ready for the Super Bowl, right? But they've been doing it for 59 years. They know how to get the Super Bowl. We have 2 weeks to figure it out. So, guys, let me ask this question. Should the NFL have one of the teams host the Super Bowl that is in the Super Bowl? The reason that I say this is because us average NFL fans do not have $12,000. Actually, it would probably be $24,000 to get tickets to go to said Super Bowl to support your team. Because you don't want to go by yourself. You want to bring a friend. So you're probably looking at $30,000 for a decent seat, food, hotel, etc. Right? So you're looking at anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 just to go down to support your team, a team that you've been supporting all year long. You bought season tickets, you bought your jersey, you do this, you go like why? Guys, I think there should be a home field advantage in the Super Bowl, and the home team should be able to host the Super Bowl. But Buck, how do you do that? How do you do that? You do what the Major League Baseball did a couple years ago for their All-Star game. The winner of the Pro Bowl, AFC versus NFC, the winner of that Pro Bowl that team from that division will then get to host the Super Bowl. So this year, so it would be last year. So last year, I think the AFC won the Pro Bowl, right? This year, in the Super Bowl, the AFC team would be able to host the Super Bowl. So this year, the Super Bowl would be at Arrowhead. Yeah, it might be rainy, it might be snowing, the wind might be blowing, whatever, right? It is what it is. But how great would that be? Not only is that great for that town's city, the fan base, etc., right? It makes the Pro Bowl all of a sudden more exciting. Now all of a sudden, we are going to see Josh Allen in the Pro Bowl. We're going to see Lamar Jackson in the Pro Bowl. We're going to see Baker Mayfield in the Pro Bowl, right? We are going to see the best of the best because that particular conference wants to host a Super Bowl next season. Now, I understand we want, like I said it, right? I said it, if we're going to have a Super Bowl away, I want it to be perfect conditions. I want it to be 75 and sunny. I don't want any rain. I don't want any snow. I don't want any wind, right? I want it to be perfect. But if you want to make the Pro Bowl great, if you want to make the Super Bowl even greater, have the team that wins the Pro Bowl host the Super Bowl the next season. What do you guys think? Cooper says KC won't win on Saquon's birthday. Probably. Never know. John says it's a participation bowl. Not wrong. It's stupid. James Frank says, I haven't watched a Pro Bowl since I was a kid, when it was cool and you had the best of the AFC and the NFC going head-to-head against each other. Yes, exactly. The beginning of the end of the Pro Bowl, guys, was when they started to intertwine the conferences, right? When they had like the draft, it was Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice, if I'm not mistaken, and they did the draft, right? They had like the neon yellow team and the neon orange team. Then they're like, let's move it away from Hawaii. Then it was dead. Make the Pro Bowl gate, make it worth something. Cooper says cold weather stadiums don't get Super Bowls. Cooper, it wouldn't matter at this particular point because it would be a home game for the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles or whoever whoever's in the Super Bowl, it's going to be that team's hosted. And this thing of the Super Bowl, New Orleans or San Francisco or LA is going to be a thing of the past, right? Like, yes, I understand we want a nice, good game. We want all the hype. We want to bring all that money, but bring it down to our normal fans. The NFL makes billions upon billions of dollars. You take $100 million out of your pocket from one Super Bowl, you're still making money at the end of the day. All those TV deals. Shit. Speaking of shit, James says, shit. If I had the money, I'd go by myself if the Browns were in it. James, I would too, but my wife wants to go 100%. She would be so pissed. Josh said, or make the play. No, Josh, stop it right there. We are not making the playoffs the best out of 3. No playoffs, no Super Bowl is going to be best out of 3. That is dumb. That is asinine. That's a 10. You said that last week, and it's even dumber now that you said it again. No. Don't be doing that. James says, I can make friends anywhere I go. Not wrong. All right, guys. Time for that special night. It's time for that special time. It is Thursday, hour number 2 here on Man Hour NFL Talk. We're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here on YouTube.com, of course, Facebook.com. And every Thursday about this time, we go across the landscape and we asked, did you see that? All right, guys, so first up on Did You See That? Matthew Stafford. Old Matthew freaking Stafford. Matthew Stafford does plan on playing the 2025 NFL season, but the situation with the Rams is still to be determined. As you guys know, Matthew Stafford and the Rams can opt out of this year's contract before the NFL season starts. Matthew Stafford did lead the Rams to the Super Bowls since being traded from the Detroit Lions just a few years ago. Matthew Stafford has been the center of trade talks, guys, though the last few seasons, and last year he was linked up with the Dallas Cowboys most of the season. Dak for Matthew Stafford, everybody thought was a perfect match made in heaven. Currently, Matthew Stafford is underneath contract to make $26 million next season. There will be some quarterback needy teams that are willing to overpay for a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, i.e. the New York Jets, Giants, Titans, and potentially the Las Vegas Raiders, just to name a few. But did you guys see that Matthew Stafford does plan to play in 2025? Next up on Did You See That? Las Vegas Raiders are making moves. Not only did they sign Pete Carroll, but they're bringing back Patrick Graham as returning to the Raiders defensive coordinator underneath a new regime. As you guys know, Patrick Graham has been the defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders since 2022. In 2022, he had the 19th ranked overall defense. In 2023, he had the 15th ranked overall defense. They didn't have the top 10 defense in the last month of the season, but who gives a shit, because 2024, they finished the 15th overranked defense as well. Not only are they a mediocre defense with Patrick Graham at the helm, they got some key free agents up this season. Spillane, Diablo, and Luke Matterson, just to name a few on the defensive side. But did you guys see that Patrick Graham will be returning to the Las Vegas Raiders as their defensive coordinator? Next up on Did You See That? Bill Belichick wants to rename the Lombardi Trophy to the Tom Brady Trophy. What? Bill Belichick said in an interview that the NFL should rename the Vince Lombardi Trophy to the Brady Trophy. Now, let's not get it twisted. Tom Brady has been called one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He has 7 Super Bowl rings, 6 with the Patriots and 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the Super Bowl alone, he averages 303 yards passing in the Super Bowl, as well as 2.1 touchdowns. Average that 2 touchdowns in each Super Bowl. But did you guys see that Bill Belichick wants to rename the Vince Lombardi Trophy to Tom Brady? What? Stop it. Last up on, guys, did you see that? The New York Jets, not only did they hire Aaron Glenn as their head coach, Aaron Glenn says, I am not going to call defensive plays. Insert Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks and the New York Jets have agreed for him to be the next defensive coordinator for the New York Football Jets. Wilks last coached in the Super Bowl for the San Francisco 49ers back in 2023. After that game, he was fired shortly after. They said, get out of town. And the last 6 seasons, he has been a defensive coordinator for the Missouri Tigers, a college team, the Carolina Panthers, and the Cleveland Browns, all on the staff the last 6 seasons. He also was the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals for 1 season when he had a rookie quarterback by the name of Josh Rosen. He was fired quickly after that season for Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. But guys, Steve Wilks got another defensive coordinator job in New York. Did you see that? All right, guys, so that is Did You See That? Matthew Stafford, Steve Wilks, Patrick Graham, and, of course, Bill Belichick. Let you guys know that. Did you see that? Did you see that? And James is like, Matthew Stafford to Cleveland, baby! I wouldn't mind that. That's where quarterbacks go to die, James. That'll be perfect for him. And James says, we like to overpay for quarterbacks, especially TikTok stars quarterbacks, right? TB Jamin says, nah. Now what, man? Now what? Now what? James says that was a great hire for the New York Jets. Steve Wilks is a great hire. We will see. We will see. We will see. And John says, hell yeah, Matthew Stafford to the Raiders. Let's go, baby. Okay. Slow it down, John. Don't get too excited because you got Dak Prescott coming, guys. All right, guys, it's time for a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. If you guys are new here on Fact or Crap, last half hour of every show, we travel around the old interwebs. We see what the old people are talking about, see what they're determined about, and we're going to determine if it indeed is a fact or if it's a crap. Guys, this is a live interactive show. Write down your fact or crap comments down below, and we will discuss it. So first up on Fact or Crap, guys, we're going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself. We are going to be talking about one of the greatest tight ends ever in the NFL. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, guys, have been deemed this villain ahead of Super Bowl 59. And Travis Kelce says he loves it and he is embracing it. So, guys, fact or crap, are the Kansas City Chiefs the villains of the NFL? So, guys, since 2018, the Kansas City Chiefs are 17-3 in the playoffs. Let me say that from one more time for the people in the back. Since 2018, the last 7 years, the Kansas City Chiefs are 17-3 in the playoffs. Their only losses in the playoffs came to Tom Brady's New England Patriots when D Ford lined up offsides. You can't do that, D Ford. I'm still mad at you about that. Then they lost to Joe Burrow's Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC Championship game. And then they lost to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Guys, in the playoffs since 2018, the Kansas City Chiefs averaged 30 points per game. They averaged 30 points per game in the postseason. And they're holding teams to under 23 games in the postseason as well. In that time, they have won 3 Super Bowls, and now they're going for a 4th and potentially a 3-peat. So, guys, fact or crap, are the Kansas City Chiefs the villains of the NFL? It is crazy how you can go from America's loved team, right? Oh, they bounced back and they won the Super Bowl and now they're going back again, and then they quickly start to be hated. People hate on success. When you do it one time, awesome, good for you, we're proud of you, but then we want you to go back into your hole and be average again. But now that they are sustaining this success, 17-3 in the playoffs since 2018, including the playoffs. 2 of those losses came to Tom Brady. 1 of the losses came to Joe Burrow. Now all of a sudden they're the villains? Guys, this is a waffle answer. I hate waffles, but this is a waffle answer, but I got to say fact. I got to say fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are now the villains of the NFL. They are the villains of the NFL is because everybody is hoping that they fall. Everybody's hoping that Goliath falls. They want them to be bad. They want them to be, they just want somebody to come up and beat them. They don't care who it is at this point. It can be the Eagles. It can be the Lions. Hell, it could be the Commanders. Hell, it could be the Dallas Cowboys. We don't care. As long as they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I am happy, right? That makes them the villains because that is 100% fact. So, guys, fact or crap, are the Kansas City Chiefs officially the villains of the NFL? And Seth says it is definitely crap. Seth says the Kansas City Chiefs are not the villains of the NFL. So, Seth, if the Kansas City Chiefs are not the villains of the NFL, every league, every storybook, every movie has a hero and a villain. Who is the villain then? Is it the Buffalo Bills? Is it the Lions? Who is the villain in your eyes then, Seth? Laura says it's 100% fact. Laura says I'm a Chiefs hater, and I know what a fact is when I see it, and this is a fact. Damn, Laura, slow it down. I read between those lines. Even though you simply just said fact, Laura, I see what you said. Put those guns down, baby. James Frank says, fact. They have taken it from the old Patriots. I'd rather watch the Chiefs than the Patriots, though. Listen, I think the Patriots were deemed this villain franchise is not because they've done it for so long, or they did it for so long, and they were dominant for so long. It is because they legitimately got caught cheating. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. They legitimately got caught cheating 4 separate times. It wasn't the referees and the tuck rule, which I don't know what the tuck rule is, but it is not that. It's the deflating of the balls. It is spying on other teams. It's spying on other teams again. And then it's stealing their signs by spying on the teams. I think that's why the people hated the Patriots, because they were legitimately cheating. Right? The Kansas City Chiefs have not been caught cheating, have not been alleged to be cheating. No even rumors besides the referee. Like, so, slow it down, Buck. You're showing out your homers again, right? John says fact, and I'm a Raiders fan. The fact is the Kansas City Chiefs are the villains. John, that means your Raiders are going to be the heroes next season. When Pete Carroll brings in Dak Prescott and they bring in, let's say, Amari Cooper back to Las Vegas, how awesome would that be, right? And then re-sign Beast Mode, and they beat the almighty Kansas City Chiefs and dethrone them from the AFC West, and you are the heroes, John. Let's do it. Alpha Rob says, fact. It's not because of the players, it's because how people feel about the refs. I think Alpha Rob just had the comment of the day. It is not Patrick Mahomes. It's not Travis Kelce. It's not Kareem Hunt. It's not D-Hop. It's not the team. It's not the organization. It is the stigma around the referees, right? It is a stigma about how they rig it for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you're right. Josh says crap as well. We are kind of split on this tonight, guys. I kind of like it. They're saying crap. Josh, if the Kansas City Chiefs are not the villains, who is the villain of the NFL right now then, right? James says, I don't hate them too much. I hate on the Steelers more, and that's not because of their success. Laura says, let me clear my throat. Let me put down my wacky tobacco. Let me take off my glasses. Let me look at you dead in the eyes. The Kansas City Chiefs are the villains, she says. That is a fact! Seth says, I think it's the Patriots back when they cheated. Back when they cheated, yes, they were definitely the villains. Everybody was aiming to knock off the mighty Giants, right? Well, I guess the Giants did knock off the Giants, but you get what I'm saying. Alpha Rob says the Patriots were cheating with spy and messing with the balls. Exactly. John says it was a fumble. He admitted it in an interview with Charles Woodson. Still won the Super Bowl that year. Your Raiders haven't even been back to the playoffs since, have they, John? I'm just saying. Don't shoot the messenger. Just saying. James says they are hated this much because of social media. Never heard hatred of 2000, 2001, 2002 Lakers. Read that off a post from someone. They're all witnessing history in the making. Still fly Eagles for the Super Bowl. James, let me be rooting for the Eagles. Screw the Eagles. All right, guys. So we are in the Senior Bowl, Combine, Draft type of year, right? From now and until about April, we are going to be talking a lot about kids that are entering in the NFL Draft. As you guys know, the Senior Bowl is in full swing. Day number 2 down there in Mobile, Alabama. Mobile, Alabama. If you know, you know. Forrest Gump. But guys, fact or crap, the Senior Bowl is more important than the NFL Combine. Now, Combsy and I have gone back and forth on this over and over and over again. The NFL Combine is basically all a circus at the end of the day. Let's just be flat out honest. It is a circus, right? Now, they do test your knowledge and your football skills and your IQ and weights and see how fast you run, but let's just be honest. The star of the show is the 40-yard dash, and that is when players like Xavier Worthy go from a potential 3rd or 4th round pick, runs a 4.140, skies up to a first round pick. But guys, the Senior Bowl is more important than the scouting combine. The combine is awesome. It's all for show. It's all to rub some elbows and must-see TV in April when nothing's going on. Or actually, I think it's March, right? But the Senior Bowl is where you make or break your stock. Everybody and their dog can go down to the Senior Bowl. If you are trying to make your name for yourself, it doesn't matter if you're from North Dakota State, from Ohio State, or Western Kentucky, or UCLA, or some junior college from Indiana. If you go down to the Senior Bowl, NFL coaching and scouts and GMs and owners are going to see you there. Guys, the the Senior Bowl, I think it's called the Reese's Senior Bowl, is the real deal. All this film that you have, whatever, it's all for naught. Because when the Senior Bowl happens, the best of the best happens. You were out there, best of the battling for a position, battling for a job. The combine, only like 150 some odd people get invited to it, I think total. So out of every position, you're only looking about maybe 10 to 20 to 30 people tops in your position get invited to the combine. If you are a senior, you're down there in the Senior Bowl making a name for yourself. Guys, it is a fact. The Senior Bowl is way more important than the scouting combine. I don't understand why the scouting combine is must-see TV. I live an hour from Indianapolis, and I go to the scouting combine, and it's dumb. It really is. Yeah, it's cool to see people throw up 225 pounds for 40 times, right? It is cool to see them do the shuttle drill and the L drill and the 5-10-5 and run some routes and shit like that. It's cool to see how fast they are. But the Senior Bowl is what it's all about. Senior Bowl is mano y mano. It determines if you have heart. It determines if you have skill. It determines if you have the it factor. I could give 2 shits less how fast you run in a straight line in tights and a tight shirt. I want to see you do one-on-one lineman drills and destroying that center as a no tackle. I want you to see you pick that man up to throw him down and go get the bag. In shoulder pads and a helmet. And cleats. Senior Bowl guys way more important. Seth said it's definitely a fact. Seth says, I like the scouting combine. It's cool to see people run fast, but the Senior Bowl way better. And John says, yes, it improves their draft skills. What are draft skills, John? Hey, I can run a 4.240. Those are my draft skills. Okay, Mr. 145-pound wide receiver, you ran a 4.4140, but let's put on 30 pounds of pads and see what you can do then. Come on. James says fact. John says fact. James says it shows that the players have heart or not. That is exactly right. Guys, tomorrow, I think it comes on about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe noon. Go to the NFL Network. Matter of fact, I will be streaming it over on our Discord. They show practices. They show one-on-ones. The defensive line, offensive line, one-on-ones, that is the biggest competition you will ever see. Watch it. Love it. Alpha Rob says it's a fact as well. Next up on Factor Crap, my man Max Crosby. Max Crosby says he's happy with the hiring of Pete Carroll. Max Crosby said he's actually excited about the hiring of Pete Carroll. And he wants to shut down the trade rumors over the weekend as well. He did say he is getting older and he wants to win, however, but he said he doesn't want to be traded as of right now. Paraphrasing what he said, but reading between the lines. So guys, Factor Crap. Should the Raiders do a complete rebuild, not just a Band-Aid fix, but a complete rebuild and trade Max Crosby? Guys, Max Crosby played in just 12 games last season before going on season-ending IR. He had 45 tackles and 7.5 sacks. Max Crosby will be entering his 7th season of the NFL in 2025. All have been with the Raiders, and all have not made it to the playoffs one time. He averages 66 tackles per season with 9.9 sacks. That's pretty damn good for a defensive end, tackle-wise. Back in 23, he had his best season to date, 90 tackles with 14.5 sacks that particular season. He is entering the final year of his contract and can opt out this season. He will be owed $22 million in 2025 and just $18 million in 2026. He does stay with the Raiders. Other notable defensive ends making those dollar bills, y'all. Nick Bosa, make around $37 million. Max can clearly make more money than that. Max Crosby is clearly better than Nick Bosa. Let's just be honest. Now, the Raiders do have around $100 million in cap space, but they are really far away from a Super Bowl or even a playoff bid. Let's just be honest. But per TradeRumors.com, the trade value for Max Crosby would be a first-round pick and a second-round pick. So, guys, fact or crap, should the Las Vegas Raiders do a complete rebuild and trade Max Crosby and build that team up with Pete Carroll? Guys, I want to say fact. I want to say let Max go to a Super Bowl contending team. Let Max go and you get your first round pick and your second round pick and you build, right? And you build with Pete Carroll. But the simple fact of the matter, guys, this is crap. This is crap because Pete Carroll's 73 years old. The man cannot do a complete rebuild. Now, the Raiders are destined for mediocrity. They brought in a mediocre defensive coordinator back. 19th ranked defense, 15th ranked defense, and a 15th ranked defense. Not very good. But the simple fact of the matter is that the defense and the Las Vegas Raiders do have some pieces in play. $100 million in cap space. They can bring in some big free agents, and they can potentially compete for the AFC West and definitely a playoff berth. Because let's just be honest, the Chargers and the Broncos are not going to repeat like they did this season. They're trash. So, guys, I got to say crap. And the Raiders need to build around Max Crosby and build to win in 2 years. Not 5 years, not 6 years. The next 2 years, the Raiders have to be all in, do what you got to do, sell your soul to the devil, but do what you got to do and make the playoffs. So, what do you guys think? Fact or crap? Should the Las Vegas Raiders trade Max Crosby and do a complete rebuild? Laura is saying fact. Laura says, let Max come to Minnesota, let Max win a Super Bowl, and then he can go back to Las Vegas and finish out his career. Trade him away. And John says crap. John is saying crap because he's simply just a homer. He doesn't want Max Crosby to go anywhere. He loves him some Max Crosby. He loves a little bit of ginger spice in his life. John is saying crap. James Frank is saying crap as well. He's their team and their leader. He's a generational talent, I believe. That would be a big, big mistake. James, as much as I agree with you, he is a generational talent. He's a great talent. He is arguably a top 5 defensive end in the NFL, if not pushing top 2, maybe even the best, right? TJ Watt's pretty damn good. Is he better than TJ Watt? Toss up, right? But sometimes, James, you have to take a step back, see the big picture to see where you need to plant that grass to let the grass grow, right? Now, if you're right up on there, your grass looks great. You're a nice little green patch the last month of the season with the top 10 defense in the NFL. But if you take a step back, man, we're the 15th, 19th, 20th ranked defense in the NFL. We have one green patch and the rest of it's gray. If you pull out that last green patch and then replant everything, you can have a nice big green lawn. You can actually have a top 10 defense. Sometimes that happens. Alpha Rob says Mar Levy in 1999, so Peep is a pup. Seth says let Crosby go to the Cowboys with Micah Parsons. And Seth, that brings me up to my next factor crap of the day. For some reason, it is not on there. So give me a second. Give me a second. My bad. Where's it at? Give me a moment. Guys, my bad. What's going on here? What is going on? There we go. My bad. I got that, guys. So that brings me up to my next point. Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott. Right? Dak Prescott has been one of the most hated quarterbacks in all of the NFL in the most recent seasons. He did sign a huge deal this last offseason, making him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. So, guys, fact or crap, should the Dallas Cowboys trade Dak Prescott? As you guys know, Dak Prescott has been a top 5 quarterback in the NFL the last 5 to 6 years. He has been pretty damn good. Dak averages 258 yards passing per game. He averages 24 touchdowns per season, just to 9 interceptions. He did sign a massive deal with the Dallas Cowboys this season, in which he did not ask for. He wanted a hometown discount. But the Dallas Cowboys are rumored to be looking for a first-round pick for Dak Prescott, and that's it. Take on Dak Prescott's contract, give me a first-round pick, you can have Dak Prescott. So, guys, fact or crap, should the Las Vegas Raiders trade for Dak Prescott? Should the Cowboys trade away Dak Prescott? Guys, I think Dak Prescott is a damn good quarterback. I really do. He was top 5 until this season, and I think Jayden Daniels finally took over that top 5 spot. Are we the prisoner of the moment on Jayden Daniels? Maybe. To be determined. But right now, I think Dak Prescott is 6 and Jayden Daniels is number 5. But if Dak Prescott was on any other team in the NFL besides the Dallas Cowboys, you guys would all be agreeing, yes, he's the top 5 guy. Yes, he's a top 5 guy. Yes, he's the top 5 guy. Dak Prescott is the man, the myth, the legend. Stop sleeping on the man. Guys, the Las Vegas Raiders, $100 million cap space. Las Vegas Raiders need to win in the next 3 seasons. Let's just be honest. Pete Carroll is not going to be coaching until 76, 80 years old. Not going to happen. 3 years top to rebuild this team, retool this team. Who do the Las Vegas Raiders have as a quarterback? Desmond Ridder, free agent, probably not going to re-sign sign him. Gardner Minshew, you benched him twice last season. Aiden O'Connell, you benched him twice last season. Then he got hurt. Then he come back and you benched him again. You don't have a quarterback. Let's just be honest. You have Brock Bowers, a great tight end, going to do great things. Jacoby Myers has stepped up and did little things and post, what's his face? The Devontae Adams getting shipped out of town. Guys, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to try to draft Shedeur Sanders, and they're going to strike out, and they're going to hurt that man's career. Let's just be honest. The Las Vegas Raiders do not develop players. They draft really, really well. The last couple seasons, they draft really well. But those players are all NFL ready. Shedeur Sanders is not NFL ready. They're not going to be able to develop that man. They're going to see like he's going to be a bust and this and whatever, right? Guys, this is 100% fact. Dak Prescott needs to go to the Las Vegas Raiders. It is simple than that. Dak Prescott to the Las Vegas Raiders instantly makes them an 8-win team. Then you add another receiver, 9 wins. Then you add that, I would fire your defensive coordinator, but you add in a healthy Max Crosby, a healthy Christian Wilkinson, or Wilkinson, the guy you guys from Miami. Both of those guys healthy, you might be a 10-win team. If I am the Las Vegas Raiders and I have my, number 7 pick, right? Dallas Cowboys call me and say, hey, you give me your 7th pick, we'll give you Dak Prescott. I cannot make that trade fast enough. Instantly, you guys are better. Instantly, you are a threat in the AFC West. Instantly, you have a top 5 quarterback and potentially a top 10 offense in the NFL. Guys, how would the Las Vegas Raiders not want to make this trade? And then if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you can draft your Shedeur Sanders, or you can draft whoever you want. And in the meantime, this whole Coach Prime, Brian Schottenheimer thing, you fire Brian Schottenheimer or demote him down to offensive coordinator again, bring in Coach Prime. Everything is good in the world. sometimes you got to take a step back, step forward. And if the Las Vegas Raiders don't want to do that, let's say they don't want to do that. Max Crosby for Dak Prescott, even trade, bada bing, bada boom. You're still instantly a top 10 offense. You're still instantly an 8-win team. This is a fact. So, guys, fact or crap, should the Las Vegas Raiders trade for Dak Prescott? James is saying fact. Fact, 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 fact. Alpha Rob is saying fact as well. Dak is a great regular season quarterback, but not a postseason or not a playoff quarterback. And Alpha Rob, that's all the Raiders want to do. The Las Vegas Raiders just want to be like the Pittsburgh Steelers, just make the playoffs every year. They're happy being one and done. They just want to be relevant again. They just want to be in that conversation. And Seth says, hell yeah, that's a fact. Sell the house, Jerry. Sell it. Get out of town, baby. Listen, that'd be awesome. And Josh is saying fact as well. Everybody, Las Vegas Raiders, let's start a petition. Get it in there. Dak Prescott to Las Vegas, make it happen. And Lord's like, whoa, 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 slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Crap, Buck. John says, Debbie did Dallas better than Dak. What? Duval. I don't know what you're talking about. James says, Dak is a good quarterback and better than a lot of other guys in the league. That is correct. And James, like, the reason why Dak Prescott gets so much hate is because he is on the Dallas Cowboys. If he's averaging 249 yards per game, 29 touchdowns per season, just a 9 interceptions on any other team, the Jets, the Browns, the Lions, the Rams, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Seattle Seahawks, people are praising this man like, oh man, Dak, you're so good. But the fact that he's on Dallas Cowboys, he sucks. He's terrible. He's trash. Whatever. Do the blind test, right? And John says, no effing way. Dak is whack. He is whack until he is on your team, John, winning 8 or 9 games. Crap. Instant, we woke Hulk in the playoffs. No, thank you. Instantly, we choke in the playoffs. Sail Boy Group says, what's up, man? What's up, Sajay? Say Boy Group. What's up, man? What's up? All right, guys, so that is going to be it for today. Great show for you guys today. That was a great Thursday show. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. Hit the like button. This is a live interactive show. We are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. You guys, we'll be back tomorrow. But if you are a pigskin pundit, we're going to do a little after show. And I'm going to show you guys how I actually do dive deep into how I prepare for the show. So here in about 10 minutes, guys, at 11 p.m. East Coast time, we've got the after hours show happening. But you got to be a pigskin pundit. Josh says the Raiders should have hired Rex Ryan. No, honestly, I'm with John on this one. The Raiders should have hired John Gruden. Simple as that. But guys, live, raw, uncut NFL talk every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. We out.